I love this. I love this story that I heard years ago about a fairly successful agent um, who moved from Los Angeles. No, I'm sorry, he moved from Texas, and he moved to, I think, like Huntington Beach, Manhattan Beach area. And he was sort of semi-retired. You know, he had a good business in Texas, did well. He just wanted to retire by the beach, chose Manhattan Beach, and but he wanted to do a little business, right? And so he had no brand recognition there, and he didn't really know anyone. And what he would do is, what he did was he bought himself several dozen signs, and he went to the top producers and he said, "Hey, can I sit your houses anytime? Like, sure, Saturday and Sunday I'll sit your houses, but during the week I'll also hold. If you have an empty house or a staged house and no one living there, I'm happy to sit that house during the week." And what he would do was he would get those open houses during the week. His thought was, hey, I could be in the office, set up a business, or I could be in an open house and be the same way, right? He had his remote access, and he would go and put out 24 signs every day, right? And he just, sit there. Somebody came through. What's that?
We just sat.
He'd sit the open houses Monday through Friday, right? And he'd do it because it put, as people drove by, they saw his signs. They saw his signs every day, and the perception of him doing business was huge, right? And people saw his brands, people saw his name. Pretty soon he got his own listings, and he did the same thing. But the point is, open houses were a passageway for him to build locality recognition, right? People who did not know him soon did know him. If he door knocked on top of that, they immediately had a connection to his brand. They immediately had a connection to his brand, and it had some recognition, right? So he was validated by not one open house, right? Not one open house of his own. And the more signs he put out, you see Sherry Beanstalk, when she has a listing on the other side of Highland or the other side of La Brea, she has signs here, right? She puts signs over here, but she uses them as a way to not necessarily get people to her open houses, but to get recognition, to people see she's in business. There's even some people who put out signs when they have no listing at all, or they have no open house at all. They just put it out there for recognition, pick them up at the end of the day, move on, right? So open houses are a great way to build business. In the old days, you would be doing, my God, it's a bad angle. In the old days, in the old days, open houses and have listings and open houses were the mainstay of getting buyer opportunities. There was no internet. There was no way to get into harm's way of opportunity through that. So there's open houses offer a lot of opportunities. Is what I will say, and in that, it's an opportunity for you to display your business acumen with potential clients. And so we're going to go through some best practices, some hacks and some ways of really supersizing the open house experience, right? Then that means that means if the open house is on a Saturday or Sunday, you have opportunity to leverage it after the open house and before the open house, and we will each year Saturday, right? There's what is this? Friday, Thursday, Sunday, Monday, right? There's lots of opportunity. We'll talk about that, right? So open houses work. Oh, 1, 2, come on.
Is that in this,
Do you have number 8, 7? We're on 7. Oh, yeah, it looks like this. It's 9 for me, but it's probably less for you. Open houses are the easiest, simplest, fastest, and cheapest way to grow your business, for sure. What will make this very all right, so are you at the open house to sell the house or to pick up buyers and sellers? All of it. You can sell the house. Most times buyers, you're not selling that house. Yeah. But most times you are. I'd say more times than not, you're picking up buyers and sellers, for sure. But the opportunity to sell the house is there, for sure. Say, Andrew, come on, Andrew.
how did you know it was me?
I can tell you're still
Somebody said it?
No, it's yours. So the easy answer to that question, are you at the open house to sell the house or to pick up buyers and sellers? The easy answer to that question is both. Kevin Scanlon, top producer, Cat Mountain Real Estate, Austin, Texas. Open houses do sell houses, and they are also an easy, inexpensive, and productive way to meet potential buyers and sellers. When approached with strategic promotion and planning, open houses are one of the best ways to meet buyers looking to buy immediately. And remember, buyers are often sellers, and sellers are often buyers. Get inspired by Caroline Caballo's numbers. The September-October 2006 issue of Keller Williams Out Front magazine presents the story of a $30 million producer, Caroline Capalbo, in Manassas, Virginia, who estimates that close to 50% of her listings originate from contact made in open houses. Wow. Your open house may be in a price range that is too high or too low, or it may not have enough bedrooms or yard space, but you are positioned to help these buyers find the best home. Let them know you are ready to help them. You're already establishing yourself as a trusted service provider. You already have a listing, or you're seeing someone else's listing, so that gives you that leverage, right? If you're planning an open house for one of your listings, be upfront and honest with the seller and explain that showing the property to lots of people in a short amount of time is a win-win opportunity that allows you to promote that home for sale and also build your business. For many agents, holding open houses is their #1 strategy to build a strong business. If you follow a proven model, buyers and sellers come to you. They show up at your doorstep. Top producing agents claim that open houses are one of the simplest ways to grow your business because from just one listing, you will generate qualified leads who often convert to future business. It's a great platform to bond with people, to create new relationships. What buyers and sellers think about open houses? According to the National Association of Realtors profile of home buyers and sellers in November 2006, 47% of home buyers used open houses to gather information. 7% of home buyers found their real estate agent at an open house. 5% of sellers found their real estate agent at, 7% of home buyers found their real home buyers, and 5% of sellers found their agent at an open house. Notice that almost half of all home buyers visited open houses during their search for information gathering in the information gathering process. Yes, they may have searched the internet first, but they still wanted and expected to see, feel, and experience the property that might become their next home. Let's look at these numbers another way. Of 100% of buyers, of 100 buyers, 47 visit an open house. Out of that 47, 7 buyers use an agent from an open house, and 40 buyers leave open houses unrepresented or represented by another agent. Okay, so, for example, for every 100 buyers, 47 will visit open houses. 7 of the 47 buyers will end up using the agent they meet at the open house. And yeah, okay, we went through that. All right, so I'm supposed to recount. This was recount in glorious details the one of the best open houses I've ever attended. So some of the best brokers open houses I've ever attended were absolutely by Loveland Carr, right? Their presentation is really a wonderful contribution to the agent community. Imagine that, so Loveland Carr's open houses, they have like a full food spread with, everything from poached salmon to salad and dessert, usually has all three. And a lot of times they build a theme, a food theme around the actual house itself, right? If it's a little Ozzie and Harriet, build an informal dining room, they have the poached salmon. I've seen them have chili. I've seen them have bungadas. They've had a million different foods that they make. Wings. They make really good wings. And so the point being is that they created a brand with the agents even that they're always going to have a fully produced event at their open houses, right? And so the agents, even if they don't have anybody, right? The agents go and see this property, and they go and see it, and even if they go just for the food, right? If you have 100 agents going just for the food, right? For the food, right? And no one has a buyer, right? They're just going to enjoy the offerings of Loveland Carr. Those 100 people have a positive view of that property, right? They're seeing the property, they're engaged in the property, they're getting a whole experience of the property. They go back out to their other brokerages and, listen, somebody in there is going to an office meeting, and once the needs come up, and they say, hey, I'm looking for in Hancock Park at this price range, and somebody who had no need to be there, but came for the food, says, hey, did you see Loveland Carr's property? I went there this weekend, this Tuesday, it was beautiful, or somebody who was looking in the flats of Beverly Hills, say, hey, did you think about you should look at Hancock Park, I saw this beautiful house, right? So that the food is a way to attract a large amount of people to disseminate your product into the universe, right? That's even before we get to a Sunday open house, before we get to the public, right? You're creating the opportunity with the brokers is immense, and I think no one does it better than that. Consistently, you know, you get to, I've been to plenty that have coffee bars and this and that. They really create an experience around the house itself, and I think that's really valuable. What, you know, you guys go to open houses. What have you experienced? What are some things that really have stood out to you in open houses that you've gone to? Andrew?
Well, they also do this as well, Loveland Clark. They actually they have one of them usually is at the door, and they greet you.
Hi, I'm in.
Yeah, exactly, rather than, and then the food's there, but, you know, there are other agents, I'm sure we know some, but, you know, it's like you're invisible. They don't ever come up to you. Sometimes you don't know the price. They don't have any sheets. They don't immediately say, oh, this is 4.5 million or whatever it is. You know, it's like give like basic service, just like you would if I went to Bacio de Latte across the street and they just stood, you know, away with their backs to me. I'm not going to pay $7 for a little thing of sorbet with that kind of service. So a lot of it is about service and relationships. And you know,
how are you doing today? What would you like to try? We have all these flavors. What would you like to try?
right, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So none of that costs anything, you know, to them.
Agreed.
Just like the agents.
Agreed.
Like if you don't know how to social, like just do basic social interaction, you know, and I'm not.
I think that's, Andrew, I think it's even oversimplification. This is a good business practice, right? You were always making impressions, right?
Right.
And to lose that opportunity to connect with another agent, even if it's, you know, that agent can come into 20 of your open house. You can go into a certain agent's open house 20 times, and then, you know, fast forward, you're looking to be in a deal with them. They don't know who you are. You can't even remember who they are because they left so little of an impression. Opposed to, imagine, oh, you know, I really love that house on Windsor, you know, 573 South Windsor that you guys had. You know, and you know, I'll never forget that spread. That creates relationship. That creates buy-in. Oh, that's Andrew. I know Andrew. I've seen him a couple times. Never done a deal. Would love to do a deal with him. He's always friendly. He's always attentive.
Yeah, totally.
You're always building connections with people, whether there's something in it for you or not. If you're always open for that engagement, there's always an opportunity in there. Anybody else? Any details in open houses that really struck you?
Well, that same one you're just speaking on, I remember when I was riding there, we were out in that front yard, we was talking about some of the same people, loving the car. When I first went there, the way they presented themselves, like you said, they had the food layout and everything. The way I took it versus the other open houses we had been to, they just seemed like they were in a different class, sort of, to me. I got the impression like the way they presented themselves, like they had no like top class, you know, upper class houses. You know, the way the spread was laid out and the way they presented themselves, like Andrew said. So that's the one that kind of stuck out to me then and still right now today. Yeah, you know.
But that's luxury. It's an experience. They create an experience for the clients, for the agents, and so, you know, when people talk about, you know, I would be a luxury agent. Well, luxury is a mindset. They have the mindset of a luxury agent. They have, you know, I did a deal with them years ago, and it was my listing, and they came to do inspections. Now, their strategy for inspections was, you bring everybody in, soup to nuts, whether you think it needs it or not, they bring every inspector in one day, tear the place up, right? And then they come and they try to knock you down on price, right? This was during, short sales. And, short sale REOs, and my client was doing a short sale, so, there was really much to negotiate with. They were already getting a bargain, and the guy who was buying it, their client, Mark, oh God, he was married to Nancy Silverton. They had.
Oh, Mark Field.
Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the client. And, but the point is, on that day, their client came, she was there all day, sitting there, Sue Carr was there all day. She ordered lunch for her clients and myself. It was, they came in and left and came in and left. And, this was like a 4 or 5 hour extravaganza of inspectors. But like I said, she had lunch provided at my listing, right? It was great, made it pleasant for me and made it pleasant for her clients. But again, full experience. Think about the full experience. It starts at the open house. The open house is an opportunity for people you don't know to experience you, right? For them to understand your business standard. What do you think a client coming into one of their open houses thinks about their standard of doing business, right? I think if they had a little more technology with it, they can attract a little younger audience. I think they get a little bit of the oh, my granny's taking care of me thing, and for people who need my granny taking care of me kind of vibe, they get that, right? Yeah, and that's it's not to be minimized, but I think there's more there if Anne was a little bit hipper. Right.
Well, it's funny because now I see a lot of, what shall we call them? Not august, but maybe august agents. They've been in business like 40, maybe 50 years. I'm seeing them always with not always, but many times with a co-listing with a much younger agent in their office. Because, she's the one woman I'm thinking of, she's attracting her longtime clients, celebrities of a certain era. And that other person's probably pulling other folks in who are younger. So that's a smart strategy.
Absolutely. If she has the relationship if she has the standing in that community as someone who is trustworthy, first of all, right? Because that's a relationship of trust.
Yeah.
Someone who's trustworthy and who can actually service the clients, has a track record of servicing like clients, you're gonna get that opportunity. And having a younger face on the team helps with, attracting the next generation of those.
Yeah.
Right? Good. No, it's excellent. Yeah. Any other open house experiences that anybody would like to share?
Well, I have one. Before I came to you, I was trying to, I know a young broker. I didn't know he was broke at the time. I thought he was an agent. Contacted him. We got together. But anyway, he told me to meet him at his open house. I went over there, but the only thing they were really providing for people was water. You know what I mean? But his greeting was off the chart. He greeted them, and everybody had, he greeted everybody a different way. Hey, that's some nice shoes you had there. They look really comfortable. What's the name of it? Oh, that's awesome. And then you take them about the house, and you take them out and show them. They like back off of them. Like, okay, you can go ahead and you go look at it alone. This show them that. presentation was like good. And, he's only like about 30.
He's only one.
He's about 35 years old, so.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. He's
Doesn't
young,
matter,
young guy.
right? I mean, it's about, it's about people skills, right? You're creating an impression. It's every new person that walks in is an opportunity for him to show his business acumen, right? It's going to work sometimes. It's not going to work sometimes. He's going to intrigue people. He's going to attract people. And he's not going to attract some people, right? Some of the, every once in a while, I still sit in an open house. If somebody needs help or something, I'll sit in the house. And like, I don't have any expectations, right? So I'm just there to have fun. And I'm there to have fun. Doesn't mean I'm there to sit and just wait for the time to go by. I'm there to have fun, which means like, I want to play with people, engage with people, and see. And so my strategy is how can I help anyone who needs help? I don't ask, I know there's this thing where you ask, are you working with an agent? I don't, right? Because it's not why I'm there, right? I'm there to contribute. And the last few times I've done it, it's just I'm engaging. Hey, how long have you been looking for? How long have you been looking for a home? How's that journey going? What challenges are you experiencing? How what have you put in a bunch of offers and how I'm asking questions to look how I can help. Hey, you should ask your agent to maybe send a letter out to the area that you like, with fitting the criteria that you're looking for. You never know. Have them put the picture of you and your wife on there. This beautiful family is looking for a home. Do you have anybody who you or any of your neighbors thinking about selling? Would you be open for an offer? That kind of thing. So I just make conversation, be curious, and see how I can help, right? Whether there's something in it for me or not. And the last few I've had like 2 or 3 times where the couple has been like, hey, would you represent us, right? And that's great because it's just because I was willing to contribute without wanting anything, right? Right? Not asking for anything. And I think if you do that with everyone who comes to the open house, see how you can, you have to be authentic. People come in with their guard up. There's a whole psychology around it, right? They smell, if you're too desperate, they smell it in a second. And so, look, I didn't care, right? That's not what I wasn't there to get clients. I was just there to help out, right? So, all right, let's get back on this, right? Myths: open houses are only for new agents looking for buyers. Well, that's just ridiculous. Experienced agents continue to leverage open houses to generate both buyer and seller leads. Open houses often get a bad rap as being the turf or technique of the inexperienced. The truth is that many new and experienced agents capitalize on open houses as a strategy to generate solid buyer and seller leads. Open houses appeal as a key lead generation strategy because they offer a relatively safe and non-aggressive sales environment. It's important people feel safe there. And that's why it's even more important not to be selling them, right? Open houses provide opportunity for great face-to-face prospecting. If you like to be the host, meet new people, and organize events, open houses will be the natural lead generation activity that can bring you results. The open house event and the time leading up to and after, what I was speaking to earlier, provides opportunity for you to build relationships, market your name to geographic farm, and to secure a neighborhood's mind share. All excellent. 2 is, I don't have any listings, so I can't hold an open house. Use another agent's listing. It's a win-win for both of you. You don't have to have a listing of your own to hold an open house. If you don't have a listing, don't let that stop you. Let your office know that you are ready and willing to hold open other agents' listings open, and another agent is often delighted to have you hold an open house in one of your listings. They currently may have a large number of listings and don't have time to host an open house. So it's in Los Angeles, a little different. You want an open house and you want it from another agent, you better get up and close and make a relationship. And every once in a while, an agent will call me and say, I need somebody to sit in an open house. But for the most part, you really, it's another relationship building perk, right? They know who you are. You show up, they know who you are. They're gonna ask you, right? Agents sit open houses. Great agents work open houses. Yeah. To Andrew's point, great agents work at generating leads every minute they are at an open house. They know that sitting in an open house, simply sitting in the living room while guests walk through or waiting for visitors to knock on the door is unproductive and boring. Sitting in an open house is a waste of time. The 2 to 4 hours you blocked off for an open house is a lead generating event, and whether you have visitors or not, use the time to generate leads. Prepare yourself with internalized scripts, read each guest, build rapport, qualify buyers and sellers, and ask each visitor for an appointment. Make your open house an active lead generating event. If there is an hour lull in visitors, feed your database on your laptop, make phone calls to potential leads, write notes to people you have recently met. Before you came in, I talked about an agent who was a top agent in Texas and moved to Manhattan Beach, and he just sat open other, I think he got 2 dozen signs, and he would sit in open house any day of the week. Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, put out 2 dozen signs, and over time he got brand recognition and opportunities from this.
Can you explain that? Like you said, he had the sign, so he had listings also.
No, he had no listings.
So what he did?
He went to the top producers in the office and said, hey, do you have any listings that are either vacant or staged with no one living there? He said, I'll hold that listing for you open, Monday through Friday. I will be there, so on and so forth. So, and he would put his 2 dozen signs out, sit that listing. It's either, he's sitting in the office, waiting for the phone to call, or sitting in an open house, waiting for the phone to call, and waiting for somebody, to pass through. And on top of it, his signs were getting seen by everyone on the daily, building his brand recognition over and over again, right? So, it was a really great opportunity.
Yeah.
Right? Fake it till you make it. Sharon Kitko is with the Builder's Wife Group, awarded #1 group in Collin County, Plano, Texas. Plano, Texas was a thing for a while. They were just, it was just growing and growing and growing. By Collin and Real in 2006. In 2005, Sharon's husband, Lance McGregor, made the transition from contracting to marketing and sales with the Builder's Wife Group. With a decade of experience building and selling high-end custom homes, Lance knows that open houses work. We have a parade of homes, 5 to 6 houses every Sunday, which typically generates 12 to 30 couples, says Lance. On the day of the open houses, guests are provided with a map to guide them from house to house, and throughout the tour, they meet the entire group of Builder's Wife agents. The mortgage officer is also available to answer any questions. With 20 couples in 4 hours, says Lance, it's like a party. To generate these numbers, the Builder's Wife group publishes a monthly magazine and drives traffic to their website. People hit the web every Friday or Saturday, knowing that they are going to have a new list of open houses. You can't expect anyone if you don't put it out, put the effort in, of course. If you stick a sign in the front yard and unlock the front door, chances are you are not going to have a good day. We spend a week preparing for our weekend open houses. Right? Wednesdays, we start scheduling the homes that we want to have open. Thursday, the website is updated with houses that will be open Friday. We start publishing the maps and the email blasts. If 12 couples come through the open houses and each agent picks up only a single client, and if you do that every weekend for 40 plus weeks, you have a lot of clients. Yeah. Let's see. The Builder's Wife group is mega agent. Blah, 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 blah. Builder's Wife group markets their open houses through a monthly magazine. Yes, produced. Yeah. So here's the list, right? And this is what I like: 5 to 6 open houses together. Below are suggestions. Create flyers that highlight several homes in one neighborhood. You know, we don't work in that kind of environment. This is, you're in a development, and the Builders Wife probably they own that development, right? They do most of the sales in that. So they have like 4 or 5 at the same time, and they map it between them. But it's let's start talking about what the yeah, so these are the steps here, right? It's before, prepare and promote; during, build trust and qualify leads; 3, after follow-up; and number 4 is be the number 1 in the market, right? So let's start with prepare and promote. So this is your open house day, could be Saturday and Sunday, right? Again, why wouldn't you have it open both days? There's no reason. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Right? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you have it open both days? It's the weekend, I would say. Go for it. That's not really a question. It's more of a statement, right? So before prepare and promote. Preparing for an open house. To systematically prepare for an open house, you will want to set open house goals, decide which houses to hold open, stage the house, prepare to build relationships, prepare to be the neighborhood and market expert, and then be safe. Set the open house goals. Let's start there. Goals are statements of what you want to achieve by a certain time. They are specific, measurable, and results driven. Goals are powerful for 2 important reasons. 1, they create purpose and direction for you, and 2, they are a measure that you evaluate your results against. Big goals force you to ask and answer the question, now how do I do that? Right? So examples of goals for open houses: number of leads you want to get, number of having Mets converted to Mets, number of buyers, number of sellers, a specific percentage attendance of the invitation you sent, and number of open houses you will work in a given time period. An action planning worksheet at the end of the session is available for you to set your goals. Decide which open houses to hold in the houses. Is the house in a high traffic area, drive by, foot traffic being most open house visitors. Choose a house on or near a well-traveled thoroughfare that will give you high exposures from your signage. Pick a house to hold open and a maximum of 3 major turns off of the major highway, right? Does the house have special features? Is the house in a desirable neighborhood, geographic farm, reputation in, as preview the agents. So staging the house, so all in our market, the house is staged, right? Yeah, I mean, we get that. That's before we even go on the market, the house is prepared. But there is, let's start here. I want to go a little bit. Let's start here. Let's put Monday and Tuesday in here, right? Here is starting here. Open houses. Remote, right? Oh, I guess that would be, you would go all the way. Something, remote the open house, right? Social media, you start that journey on Monday, right? Then it's Saturday and Sunday, social media. Once you put it, well, it doesn't, if you're doing your own open house, you want to put it in the MLS too. So I'd say Thursday. MLS Thursday, right? Because what's going to happen is you're going to, if you put it in too soon, people try to get it in private showings. It is better to bunch them up, get people in there, a lot more people in the open houses, and get them kind of seeing that a lot of people are interested in it, right? And then you do private showings afterwards. Go back by yourself, right? For sure. But I would Thursday I put in the open house, social media. Again, Thursday and Friday, I would door knock. In a 3 to 5 block around. Right. So this is about driving people to the open house. I would talk and or leave property flyer. What is this conversation door knocking look like?
Once you listen to open house, you mean?
Yeah, like what, so you're door knocking for 2 days, say you go, like 3 to 5 blocks around the open house to drive people to the open house. What is that conversation look like?
Well, I'm pretty sure you would like to know that, let them know that you're an agent, you have a listing, on the market, if you want to invite them, to the open house, go around, let everyone in the neighborhood know, that you have a listing.
Yeah.
You would like to invite them in this.
But more, you want to drive them to the open house, right? No, I think that's.
Maybe, you can let them know, what you're gonna be having at the open house during certain hours, and
Sure.
what you might think would attract the crowd, what might have their interest.
Yeah, so it's true, and it's like, anywhere from what Troy's saying, and you can add on, choose your own, choose your neighbor, there's an opportunity to choose your neighbor. You love your neighborhood, bring somebody you know and care about, into the property. It's a great property, come and see it. Some agents even do, specific open houses for the neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
Or do, Friday, I've seen like, Friday, twilight cocktail,
Or like happy hour.
yeah. Seen that too, just for the neighbors. In which case, you're door knocking here, right? If you're gonna do that.
Yeah, because the most open houses that I've seen so far, a lot of neighbors do come by because they've been curious.
Absolutely.
They come by.
But the neighbors become sellers,
Yeah.
right? So, this is all driving to the open houses. There's also, you can also do, live stream from the open house. That works too, right? While you're in there in the open house. And so here's your marketing plan. Even when you're seeing someone else's open house, make the most of it. Make the most of it. So promote it. Get out there. Social media. Door knock. This is your opportunity to get in harm's way of prospective buyers and sellers, right? And so let's go to the day of in prepping the house. Again, don't forget you're creating experience for people, right? So there's a checklist here. You want to this checklist for prepping the open house is good. There's some things that the owners need to do and some things that you need to do. You do, number one is you want the owners to know that anything of value should be put away, right? And then also any kind of prescription drugs, they should be hidden also, and valuables, right? Unclutter all the countertops, keep your home clean your home top to bottom, make any repairs necessary such as touch-up painting and so on and so forth. Open up your house, the lighter and brighter the better. Play soft music. Make sure your home smells good. Adjust thermostat to a comfortable level. Arrange for your pets to be in a safe place or gone. Clean and straighten the patio. Manicure the lawn. Clean the front door or paint the front door. Remove all clutter from the entrance area. So these are all things some of you have control over in prepping your owners. I know a lot of the agents who will tell their owners that part of the arrangement is that you keep during the listing period, or at least the first few weeks, that you keep your house show ready, right? And that you might have to make a bed or do something like that, but the idea is that, hey, I can't come in. I know agents who go in and make beds and clean dishes and all of that. I think it's a little unreasonable, but I would do it if I had to, right? If I sell the property, I'm going to do it. But you want to make sure your clients understand that standard. I would always have like a couple candles in your in your trunk, some air freshener, maybe, sometimes a fan is always good to have. You wanna go in, you wanna prep the house, you turn on all the lights. If it's stale air, you wanna open up some windows, you wanna turn on the air condition or the heat according to the weather that particular day. You wanna pull back curtains, you wanna bring in as much light as possible. And you wanna keep it as, you wanna make it as amenable to the largest group of people possible, right? It really helps to, it just in general, to take down a lot of personal things. If you have, your house is just like over personalized, people can't project themselves in the space. The idea is you're building a fantasy, right? People have to walk in and imagine themselves waking up there, having breakfast there, having family events there. So, some objects and pictures make it prohibitive, and you want to create as wide a range of acceptance as possible and appeal for your own houses. So that's a little work on your part, it's a little work on their part. Sometimes it's unattainable. You do the best you can, right? We've all had the tear down house that smells like rotting flesh and deteriorating wood, and it's a mess. But what's that? Oh yeah, that was pretty bad. But even, and there's even, that was a tear down, right? So you kind of contextually understand it. It's the stuff in the middle that gets harder to digest. That is always, that people are seeing that as that adds to its, not charm, but it adds to its opportunity, right? Because I buy it for this, I put in this, and I can sell it for that, right? Kind of thing. Whereas that stuff in the middle is just like, ew. It's just something about it just turns them off. They don't quite know what, right? If it's old carpet or there's something about it that's just not hitting. And so we do the best we can to soften those edges. Right? It's the best you can do. Right. So the house, the idea, we have a few things that we can control, right? The price is not always something we can control. The condition is something we can't always control, but we can help those. Marketing, the experience that people have when they come in, I think elevate property. I can't tell you how many times I've seen stage properties that people are like, ooh, ah, and I'm like, okay, now imagine this property with nothing in it. There was that property, what was that one? Lucerne, that really cool little Frenchy, you enter into a courtyard, and there was so much drama in the house, and they had it decorated so beautifully, had, country rustic flooring in the kitchen with a big basin sink. Was that?
Which house is this?
It's Lucerne. It was in the block below. Yeah. Lucerne. And it had a lot of the hassle, a lot of drama. And most of it was because it was decorated like beautifully, right? And just imagine after all that stuff was out of there and what those people paid, close to $3 million for. It's still a lovely box, but it's nothing. The finishes were not there, and kitchen was an old kitchen that looked cool in its presentation.
Right, and some also like the low slanted ceilings.
Low slanted ceilings, some of the cast metal their like ornate stuff was,
Right.
you know, but
But it made a good impression.
oh, it made an amazing impression.
Yeah.
It was beautiful, beautifully done. Yeah, so, and that sold the house. Okay, even though, you know, it was a great location, and two small bedrooms, it was like nothing fancy. But it was an experience. Experience matters. All right, prepare to build relationships. We're going 3 minutes with each guest coming through the door now. So this is day of, you got your greeting people. You have about 3 minutes with each guest coming through your open house. That means you must rapidly get into relationship with each visitor. Always greet them at the front door, shake hands, and ask their name. Say their name back to them, and make a personal connection. You know, what does that mean? Make a personal connection.
Make them feel comfortable.
Look at people's face, you know what I mean? Look at people's eyes. I mean, people don't, you know. Everybody's got this. You know,
Right, the neck.
the chiropractor just gave me a whole speech about these two muscles right here. The one that I always have, it's always tender, right up under here. He said, oh, you get your head down all day, and the muscles the muscle goes from here, I guess, down to, it connects, it holds your it holds your neck in place, and it, you know, it overcompensates and just is constantly trying to pull your neck back up. All right. So look at people in the eye, make a connection, shake a hand, or bump it, even if it's hey, you know, shake it, bump it. You know what I mean? Or just greet them and talk to them in a manner, right? People miss that all the time. It's so simple. Shake hands and ask their name. Say their name back. It's really good. It creates a personal connection. With only a few minutes to build rapport, prepare with who, what, where, when, and why questions. There are problem-solving questions and useful when building a new relationship. You can then focus your conversation on their specific reasons for coming to the open house. Prepare to be the neighborhood and market expert. Every neighborhood has its history. Learn to tell it. Andrew, I think, you know, knowing the story, this history, and sharing that passion, if you're passionate about it, I think is really great, a great asset, right? It really, really is. A little bit about the neighborhood and who used to live here, and maybe some special event that happened there. You do want to be cognizant of too much also, right? So I think you know, the greeting, my approach is I start with the greeting, I invite them to experience the house, and then as they're coming out is when I get into a little more detail about the house or the market or the history, right? You know, you want to, and so that whole conversation starts with questions, right? Again, how long have you been looking for houses? What's your experience been like? What are some of your frustrations? What are some of the high points? Do you have any questions about the process? You know, that kind of thing. Find out what questions are not being answered for them. Find out what problems you can contribute to a solution on, right? That I think is really key to finding out when you come across a client who is, you know, everything, you know, when they talk about the area more than the houses. Oh, you know, I was going to make a park, and it's such a beautiful area. You know, then you bring out your history, your little history lesson. Yes, historically it was built as a neighborhood to support Paramount employees, and, the closer to Paramount were the workers, and the further away were the executives, the stars, and that's why you see the houses below Beverly get bigger, and the houses below Third get larger. It was like this kind of pecking order of homes, as you get a little further away from, and so you get to build a little conversation with that, rapport, right? Also, in the rapport building piece is, I always have a list of current solds printed out, one copy printed out, and a list of on the market printed out, one copy, right? And anybody can look at it. If you'd like me to send you a copy, I'm more than happy to do so. Give me your email.
Copy
Right.
of sold.
Recently sold, what's on the market. Here's a list of what else is on the market in this price range, right? And then have like a bunch of other, things in your grab bag. When they're identifying problems, you're letting, it's the writer's strike, and I have a down payment, but I don't, hey, why don't you, I have a loan officer who works with a lot of 1099, 1099 applicants, either actors or writers and such. I understand one year you're making $1 million, the next year you're making $10,000. I get it. So if you'd like me to give you that information, you're seeking for ways to help, and you're seeking, and don't. If it's verbal helping, of course. If it's a substantive help, defer that to a next step, right? Oh, I'd love to have that conversation with you. When can we have coffee, right? Or give me your information, and I'll reach out and set time where we can meet and have coffee, and I can give you my thoughts on it, right? You're trying to establish a need and a way to satisfy. That's the beginning of your relationship. You come from contribution, you give as much as you can, you ask, you find out, you ask questions, and then you satisfy those questions either in the moment or in a next step, right? The key to establishing a relationship is never leave the conversation without a next step, right? So if that next step, hey, let me send you those recently solds, right? You got your email that day, that night, you're sending out, fill the order that night, right? Hey, it was great to meet you, Andrew, at the open house. Here's that list of recently solds that I sent, that I promised you. I'll give you a call tomorrow and we can talk about it, right? Boom. You send it, you set up the next step. Call tomorrow. Hey, what'd you think of those next steps? You really should look at, how do you think your house values in that? Just ask questions. They're looking at recently solds because they want to really know what their house value is. If you like, I can send you I won't just put you a report. I'll do a CMA for you, just so you know where your house is. When's the last time do you have a copy of your deed? Yeah, somewhere. But you know what? I have a title partner. I could pull you that and send that over to, right? Just think about it. Finding ways to contribute, right? Not always sell. Finding ways to contribute. They might not want to sell today. Might come back. So they ask you questions. Maybe that's the end of this particular query. You come back around. You have them in your database. You follow up with them. In a month or two, and you're like, hey, checking in. How's everything going? Did you notice the house house down the street sold for, blah, 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 that probably means that your house is coming up in value too. Congratulations, right? So you creating a dialogue to be the source of information for them and be their person, right? And that's all from an open house. So, there's a list here of what buyers want to know, and a list here is what sellers want to know. Who would like to start by reading the buyers want to know?
Over.
Yeah.
Buyers want to know community and neighborhood information, local destinations, shopping, crime statistics, market statistics. Much of this information can be found through the Chamber of Commerce. Home buying process, information similar to a home buying process guidebook most agents use in their buyer consultation, designed to help explain to the buyer what to expect. I think they meant buy. Schools, college bound rates, designations, accreditations, enrollment numbers, and other relevant statistics about schools in your area. These stats are usually available to your locals, on your local school district's website. But let me ask about that, because in California, we can't do that, right? We can't say the greatest school is down the street in this district, right? Am I wrong?
But you could say the school down the street has a 99 score on bestschools.com.
So it's a way of saying it without saying it's a great school.
Well, one is an opinion, and the other is, you're just
Okay.
transferring.
Information, yeah, it's a fact. It becomes more of a fact.
Okay. Relocation, census numbers, employment information, economic indicators, major industries, vendors that are pertinent to relocating in your area. First-time buyer, home buying process information tailored to first-time home buyers. This may include some of the same content for the home buying process. Mortgage, information on different types of mortgages, interest rates, and amortization schedules. You may also have a mortgage calculator available on your laptop to estimate monthly mortgage payments.
So my brain starts to go to, how can I answer these questions through contribution without like how can I use this to gather information? Right? Do I have, I can have, oh, you're interested in schools? Ask me about schools. Or, ask me about schools. Ask me about neighborhood, ask me about history, ask me about this. And then you just send them the school, you send them to the school website, the school, rating website. There's a bunch of them, right? The same with, mortgage partner. You're seeking to find ways to contribute, right? That's what you're doing, right? Whatever it is, right? These are just some of the ways. But have the answer to these already in your tool belt, right? You're just, when you go home, you're just going, whoa, oh, they need this, they need this, they need that, they need this tool. And it creates value if you're answering their questions at a high level. Right? All right, let's read sellers.
I'll read it.
Come on.
All right. Market statistics information that will give an idea of what their home might be worth. Knowing what other homes sold for will give sellers a realistic understanding of what their home is worth. Some agents create neighborhood pages on their websites where they post market statistics on a monthly or quarterly basis. Wholesaling process information that includes the steps involved in selling a home. You may also include points of service in your process that differentiate you from other agents, such as how you market your listing online. Refinancing information. Placing information on refinancing a home on your website can reduce the amount of time you spend working with homeowners who are not truly motivated to sell that at that time. Such information might include current interest rates, description of different mortgages, and refinancing mortgage calculation.
So, I mean, again, how can, I start to think, how can I create conversations with people, to create value, right? Yeah, have market statistics and such, Michael Lewis Marketing Suite in, extra stuff or free stuff. You can go in and get neighborhood information in a nice little dynamic, graphic that they do per that day, right? It's not static, so it's like up to the minute, information that you can use and send people, and it looks really, really good.
And where you get that from?
Michael Lewis Marketing Suite. If you've never been on there before, ask Ethan, he'll make sure to get you a sign on for it.
Michael
Lewis yeah.
It's
Mark.
LEWIS. I think it's under,
MLMS.
but I mean, it's under another,
It's
right?
this,
Yes.
Yeah, but
it's not
Yeah.
It's Michael Lewis Marketing.
yeah, you can get, we have our jump site, you can jump on there from there too.
Yes, please. You got Michael.
I don't know.
All right, so, all right, marketing. Here, mode, we're done, what was that? Power of signage, oh, yeah. Did I jump over there? Yeah, so preparing for an open house, be safe, 5 tips for safety. Check rooms for escape routes, check backyard for high fences, check cell phone strength, notify friends to call at set times, and walk behind guests during the tours. Yeah, you really want to be careful at open houses. Again, whilst I've never had a bad experience, I'm also an old big guy, so I mean, I haven't walked into 2 houses that have squatters in them. And both times the squatters were super nice. They were just like, they were just like kids trying to get out of, it's literally one time I go in and it's like, okay, I see some stuff there. I'm like, hello, is anybody here? And I hear a voice say, yes, we're in the back room and we'll be out of here. We're gonna get out of here in a second. I said, okay. They go outside, they come walking out, they're like, we're sorry, we just, needed a place. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, whatever.
How did they get in?
I don't even know.
So they didn't break
Through back, no, they didn't break in. They just, they got in probably through the window or something like that. And, they literally left a note in the room they were in, said, we don't want to destroy anything, we're just, in need, and, we make sure we keep the house really nice. It's basically this. There's no furniture in there.
And you said, well, you seem to be in need of a house. Let me show you this place.
Yeah, well, luckily it was all before the client came.
Right.
In another time, we worked out a kind of, about, they just walk by you, like this kind of thing, But be careful, make sure someone knows where you are, and, again, walk through the whole house. As you're closing up the house, be careful to lock all the doors and check the windows too. It's not uncommon for a thief to, come into an open house, unlock a window or two, and then, come back later and just crawl in the window, right? It happens, right? All right, preparing, prospecting around your open houses. Should I prospect or should I market? You should do both. Prospecting, proactively seeking leads, door knocking, call your message. Yet in addition to this, I would send out here somewhere. Send out an email to your sphere. Okay, that you're sitting in this open house. Why would you do that? Why would you send out an email to your sphere?
Get people in
Sure. Why else?
conversation.
Sure. Yeah, it's a indication that you're doing business.
Right.
That you're in business, right? Come visit me at this open house on Sunday. Who cares if they come? Yes, be great if they came by. But more to the point is that they see you doing business, right? And so that shows up here, that shows up here, and all of this. So here is, this is follow-up social media here. In case you missed our open house, there's also, this is follow-up. Follow-up emails, calls, text, info transfer, or fulfillment, right? This is the whole open house experience, right? And we didn't, and we just, touched a little bit on, and then there's the open house itself, right? But you have all these opportunities to touch people. All of this is about how many people have I touched by being by doing an open house, either promoting my business, promoting this property, or promoting my services. So it's not just about showing up if you're just showing up with signs on the side, you put the signs out on put a sign out on the curb, and then you open the door, and then you sit there. No, but look, you've lost all of this potential interaction. All of it is important. So, prospecting, proactively seeking leads. In conversation 2, prospecting series. Prospecting is all of the activities that you engage in finding leads. Prospecting is a lifeblood of the real estate business and involves proactivity, right? Is that what it says? Yeah. Proactively finding people through phone and face-to-face contact. It is the most immediate and cost-effective way to build your business. Prospecting includes calling for sale by owners, expired listings, and past customers, as well as meeting people face-to-face through door-to-door canvassing and social community events. Nikki Baldini, a regional operating principal and mega agent on the Gary and Nikki team in South Florida, puts it best. When I teach lead generation, she knows I say prospecting is not just picking up the phone, it's getting involved in networking groups, in volunteer situations, and making it a point to meet people every single day. So imagine here is something I forgot to get done here. Here, also is, does anybody know what circle prospecting is? So circle prospecting, it's calling people who have not shown any interest in real estate, right? But it's like door knocking in this area. You can get lists of people who live in an area around your listing. You can get lists of people and their phone numbers, and you're calling them, saying, hey, we have a listing coming up at 556 Mansfield. If you know of anyone who would, if you know of anyone who would love that house, we'd love to sell it. We'd love for you to choose your neighbor, something to that effect, or we just sold the other time they used circle. Hey, we just sold 556 Mansfield, and we had 30 offers. 30 offers on that, right? And so, hey, if you're ever thinking about selling your house, this is a great time. You have a comfortable house. This is a great time for you to be selling. They got $300,000 over the asking price. They got $2.3 million, right? We expected 2, and we got 2.3. So if you or anyone you know, any of your neighbors are looking, so circle prospecting is calling people who have not raised their hand, right? And you can get these lists, and the list will have the DNC, the do not call, destination on them too. But it's another layer of what you can do around an open house, even if it's not your open house, right? I know it's a lot of effort, but it's an opportunity, right? This will get you your contacts for the week. That's for sure. All of this will get you your contacts for the week through one open house, not just showing up, but pouring into it as much as you can. And prospecting will do that. All right, now we get into the marketing piece. Let's see, thinking an open house is a big event. Yeah, I think we really passively attracting the leads. So that gets into the adopt the right mindset. All right, here you go. Here's your listing. The power of signage. Competitor has dominant market share. And so, I guess this is your competitors, right? Right? And here's your one sign here, opposed to, directional signs. Boom, boom, boom. Come in from every angle. Do yourself a favor and look at a map. It's really easy with Google Maps now, and really map out the best route. I think I know. I get in the car and I got my signs and I'm like, and inevitably I'm like, oh, I should have put one over there. Oh, and I should put one over there. There's more traffic that comes from here. So you really want to drive in from the major thoroughfares back into the neighborhood, back into your and I say more signs, better. I think most agents do probably about 6 signs. I'd say if you did 12 signs for every open house, you're really going to capture a lot more. Like I said, you have big agents like Sherry Beanstalk, even when she can have one listing that is, a mile and a half, away, and she's got one down, she's got a sign down on the corner that leads down to a sign on 3rd Street that points down past to her sign that's on Hyde, on La Brea, and then on Martel, turning up Martel, and then to her listing, which is on Rosewood. I'm just making it up, but that's just one path. right? I'm sure she has the same path on Beverly, and maybe even the same path on Melrose, going to the same place. And coming from the other direction, from La Cienega to Martel, right? So it's a strategy, it's an opportunity for you to market your brand as well as bring people in from every direction. Everybody sees that blue sign of Sherry's, then they know, right? Now we know, oh, ding, right? It just pops off in your brain. Questions? Am I going too fast? All right. Before prepare and promote signage design, what matters, brand yourself. Be sure to put your name in large print on all signs. Goal, people will see your name over and over again. It works. It sounds oversimplistic, but it works. Don't jam too much information, too much imagery on the signs. It's an imprint. You're making you're driving by. You know, it's just a little image, right? Big arrows, simple information. Balloons, balloons and flags, they don't hurt though. I mean, it's not my thing. Flags actually could be, I'm intrigued by flags, but I have not really,
they're catchy.
it's something moving.
You know what they should have? Those, you know, those like
Oh, yeah.
spy car,
Like they're the.
Oh, the blow up,
We
yeah.
go back and
that
forth. Yeah, it's a little maybe cheesy.
It's super cheesy.
It's
It's definitely
so
not.
funny
It's
though.
definitely cheesy.
Or like,
Yeah,
you could have someone,
that's your brand.
you could have someone with a board.
Sandwich board, yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew's gonna dress up as a
Yeah.
Statue of Liberty.
See, the thing about those flags, I went and did an open house, I was a co-host of this open house. With these things for Berkshire Hathaway,
Yeah.
the one I told you, Marina Del Rey.
Sure.
And he has an extension that he created to put on his flag, so his flags are taller. And the way he sets them up in the yard, like, you know, some people.
Looks like Veterans Day at Veterans.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
Yeah.
people as far away, they can see those flags, versus you probably can't see the sign, so that's what I mean, they can be a little.
I agree. No. Like I said, I like the flag idea. I definitely like the flag idea, more than
Yeah.
but yeah, and even those like, those flags like this, they're a little cheesier. Those ones go like that, right? You ever see those flags, those big ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that.
It's right.
Oh, yeah.
You're a little cheesier. I like a classic flag. Right, but I'm always open for new suggestions on that, because I think it's anything that catch people's eye, right? We do a holographic, ribbon.
Also, another thing about those flags, it's sort of a reminder of a sale, like any time you go by and you see a flag, you know, even, car salesmen, and,
Yeah.
you know, you see those flags, it kind of puts in your mind, sale, you know, the sale going on, you know.
True, yeah, again, anything to really attract people to your messaging, right? I'm surprised people haven't gotten into more electronics, but I think they're just weary of getting it stolen. Like, you know, like LED arrows,
Yeah.
right?
Especially.
Yeah, I like
Glow in the
the,
dark flags, that's what we
I like the little, and then there's the for sale signs, right? I mean, again, for sale signs, you can invest a little bit more in your brand. It's very simple. It's not, you know, it's just transferring the information of what it's for sale, who's selling it, how to contact me, right? Couple riders on there, it all works. It all works. And I think the bigger the better. And But again, according if it's on the rise. But look at the property, tell them, you can tell them where you want it to be. You know, I have a friend in Beverly Hills, and he has a listing in my neighborhood that they've been passing for a while. Star Jasper just sold it, but I found it like weird and yet highly noticeable that he put it on the median, right? On the other side of the crosswalk, right? Like on the street side, right? And it was actually, it was, like the L went out into the street.
Oh, like on the easement?
What's that?
Like where the city.
Yeah, so there's the crosswalk, here's the street, and then here's the median, right,
Yeah.
for the street. And he had it like out like, you know, like this, where it was like literally, you know, on the street, like, you know, you would drive by, you saw it, it wasn't against the house.
Right.
It was in the median. I was like, no,
Oh, yeah.
I've seen that before. But I guess it works.
Yeah,
It was every time, yeah. Yeah, it was a nice house.
So was it an arrow over
No,
there?
it was just a for sale.
You just had this,
Yeah.
face more out towards the street,
Yeah.
than in the yard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he must have had something else on about the house too, though.
Ask the, what was that?
He must have had something else near the house.
No, it was in front of the house.
Oh,
It was just like on the, you know, like this is the street, it was on the median. So it's that little strip of land between the street
yeah, I know.
and the sidewalk.
Closer to the street than the house.
Yeah. Yeah, usually you put it on the street. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
And here's another example of directional signs all going to. Tips for signs: invest in a large quantity of signs. I absolutely agree. Your name in large, your name in large print, agree. Oh, come on. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong thing. Where did that? Use colorful balloons, if that's your thing. Place 10+ signs out. I totally agree. Put out signs 5 days before your open house. A little risky.
You say how many days?
5 days. You know, I guess in some jurisdictions you can get away with that.
Well, I mean, if you go come and pick them up, I mean, right, you don't leave them out.
You're saying leave them out,
Oh.
but you know, in here you will get a couple things. Couple things to know about open house signs. You will get an angry, if you leave them out too, you will get an angry neighbor who knocks it over. You will get that. You will get an angry neighbor who throws it in a trash can. You will get that.
We're not just an angry neighbor, you know who else you get too?
That's tacky.
Some of those homeless folks.
What are they gonna do with it?
I see a lot of stuff they do, is I be going to work real early in the
Yeah.
morning.
And
I
what are they
see 'em.
using those open house signs for? They must be using them for something.
Well, I mean, not only that, what's those things they leave on the street, I mean.
Carts?
No, they
No,
drive
he needs a
things.
scooter.
Oh, the
Yeah,
scooters.
those things, I see them going up to people's doors, pulling on their door handle. Any little thing that, you know, they do all that, knock the signs on, just.
straight
Yeah.
vandalism.
Yeah, I see all that.
Yeah. Put out signs, I did ask neighbors with corner lots to place signs. That would be great. Place directional signs at every turn, maximum 3 turns. Put your phone number on open house lawn signs, of course. All right, the other thing is, there's some jurisdictional issues around here with open house signs. Beverly Hills, you cannot, and West Hollywood have restrictions. And we should pull a fresh set of those restrictions. In Beverly Hills, you can only use, I think, an 18 by 24-inch sign in front of the property. And but I believe you could put directional signs out for open house. You can't leave them out overnight.
Where is this again?
Beverly Hills. It's in West Hollywood. It's a little more restrictive and mostly on the open house thing. You can have an open house sign, with an A-frame that has your name on it or your broker affiliation. You can have a generic open house directional sign and one sign in front of and one branded sign in front of the property.
That's west down there.
That's
No,
West
West
Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Oh, West
West
Hollywood.
Hollywood, yeah. Yeah, so be careful. They will take your signs. Sometimes you don't even have a listing in West Hollywood, but your directional signs tap into West Hollywood, right? You just, oh, that corner's West Hollywood. They will take your signs, call you, write you a ticket. Okay? So they confiscate your signs and they give you a $200 ticket.
So know your borders.
Exactly, I was just gonna
Know your West Hollywood.
And Beverly.
You said
Beverly Hills is not as.
You said you can. In Beverly Hills, you can have an 18 by 24, cannot.
No, Beverly Hills, you can only have an 18 by
Okay, you
24
can.
sign in front of the property, and then open houses. I think you can have one branded sign at the corner, in each corner. It's crazy.
So that's why I'm glad I brought that up, that last time I was, going on, those open houses with you. And I told you in LA, all I see is those generic signs,
Yeah,
and you were explaining that.
in West Hollywood, the generic signs.
Yeah.
Are what you want, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna remind me, I'll get Ethan to pull the most recent, restrictions for those two, jurisdictions.
And I'll just quickly say, I'm always amazed driving around like today, how many agents just leave the signs out?
Yeah.
It's like they never picked them up.
Well,
That-
some of that could be agents and or there's actually services that will put signs out.
Now, our generic signs, are they allowed everywhere, or just
So
certain?
generic signs are allowed everywhere.
So you get, okay, that's a safe way, then. So, I mean, I know you wanna have your own thing.
Yeah, no, I would still say you want branded signs,
Okay,
because 99% of the time you're gonna use branded signs.
but these are the only exception areas, exceptions
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, every single city that's not LA probably has its own,
Santa Monica, I don't think Santa Monica has no
Okay.
restrictions.
but I would say like,
Culver City doesn't have.
San
any restrictions.
Marino, Calabasas, maybe they have their, I don't know.
Well, how will
In West Hollywood and Beverly Hills, to my knowledge, are the most restricted.
how will we know how to find out, come and ask you?
Yeah. I'm gonna get Ethan to post that in the Google Docs.
Okay.
The other thing that this just reminded me of, it said posted in open house today, .com, but that's old bullshit. You should put the open house in you should put the open house in the MLS. You could put it, even if it's not your listing, you could put it in as an open house. Or get the listing agent to put it in as an open house for Friday and Saturday, because people will go, that information disseminates to all of the different, home websites. That's where they pull from, is the MLS. So if you're saying in the MLS, if you're saying you have an open house on Saturday and Sunday, then all that, it'll be in Trulia, it'll be in, homes.com, it'll be in realtor.com.
But the agents, brokers open, those aren't necessarily in all the realtor websites, right?
Yeah, no, they are too.
Really? Okay.
They don't disseminate?
Sometimes I feel like I look on both and I don't see where it's specific about agents open house.
So that information is, I think, there's a 48-hour lag on that, right? So, the information from the MLS, the one protection, they protect us, with they're selling the information, right? But the one way they protect us is the one compromise they made is that it's a 72-hour turnaround for information. So if you put a listing in, it won't show up in any of the websites for 72 hours. So if you put in the MLS on Thursday or Saturday, you might not show up, but on Sunday it will show up. So we'll put it on Wednesday. Right, put it on Wednesday. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it aggregates to all of those different things. And if you're seeing somebody else's, ask them to do it for you because they got access to a listing. So yeah, they would have to do it for you. You can't do it. You can't do it on your own. All right. You'll see on page 37 here, you have an open house checklist. Might be different for you guys. And what page is that on?
I think we're 33.
Oh, 33, okay, 33, 34. The short one and the long one?
Yeah, it's all.
Yeah, so you check lead generation activities, logistical activities, lead generation activities, after the open house, during the open house. And these are great for you to stay in the mindset of harvesting. Going back to one of the first things they said is have a goal for the open house, right? Have an expectation. You know, say, you know, there's an agent that I know is like, for every open house that I do, I want to get one opportunity, right? So my goal is going in is I want to meet one person that I can help. And so to get one person I can help, I have to find 5 people that I can service, right? That I can bring value to. And then there's that one person, and 1 out of 5 that I'm actually going to be able to help. So if you say, okay, I want to find today, I'm going to find 5 different people that I can give some piece of information to, right? And you set that goal, and then you gamify it, and you play that game for yourself. And of those 5 people, I want to have one opportunity from it. And so everybody open house, if you're sitting 2 open houses a weekend, then you're, you know, probably more realistically, you're getting one opportunity from both of those at the end. So in 5 different ways, you can set that up for the weekend. That's an expectation. Therefore, you're looking for it, you're planning for it, you're acting for it, you're being proactive about looking for ways to help people. How can I help you? How can I be of service? What are you looking for? What has your experience been like? What do you need, right? Real estate, real estate, it's rapport building. You're there to build rapport and to find a way to show your value over and over again, every day, right? And in that, let's see, what attitude does an agent take to build trust and trust? We've been talking about this. Let's what I want to talk about is we did a little, I feel like we talked about that, tour the home. So you're basically, they're coming in, you're greeting them, you're welcoming them, you're introducing yourself, and you're setting them up for the house. So if there's anything that you want to make sure they see, you want to lay that out. You want to make sure you tell them any highlights. Don't forget to see the pool, those beautiful, palm trees, and there's a new pool in the back. Make sure you see that. And also there's the master bedroom is one of my, or the primary bedroom is one of my favorite features of the house, right? One of my favorite rooms in the house. The light, and you let them go on their way, and then after they come back, that's when you really want to get into the contribution conversation and find a way to service them, figure out what they need, figure out where they are in the process, and be curious, right? Let's ask some questions. We talked a little bit about the different ways, the different types of people, right? There are buyers and sellers who come in, but there are neighbors who know selling in the neighborhood. There are neighbors who might want to have their children live in the neighborhood. You want to get into those conversations as much as possible, and the way to do that is to be curious and engaged and come from a place of wanting to contribute and help. But asking is so important. If you don't ask, do you know of anyone who this house would be great for? Do you know of anyone, what would you like your neighbor? Who would you like your neighbor to be? What kind of neighbor are you looking for? What do you love most about this neighborhood? You just keep asking questions and keep digging deeper into the needs and wants of the people that you interact with, right? Make lots of notes. If someone is, there's lots of different ways to take information. I find that if people are writing information, there's lots of ways for them to be a little dubious in it. But if they're putting the information into an iPad or into a computer, that they feel a little more obligated to give you at least some accurate information, especially if there's something in it for them. You've already identified that you're going to be sending them the neighborhood most recent solds, the best school score site, whatever it is that you're going to send them. Here, I'll text it to you right now. Text it to them right now. Here, let me send that to you. Right? Get their information, make notes next to their input, and start profiling them there. I don't know about you guys, but I can't depend on my brain to remember the details of the conversations. So notate, start building the profile. That's how you can better communicate with them. That's how you can better connect with them, is if you understand who they are and some of the nuances, right? Business cards, sure. Don't substitute business cards with their information. Giving them your information is not the way to get their information, okay? Or in the beginning, it's like, oh, you're handing out cards, you're just waiting for people to call, and they're not calling, right? They're not calling because you've not created any reason for them to call, right? And so you want to focus on finding those contribution points that you can do for them, right? Or finding that commonality, right? That's also really big. What is it, that we share culturally, occupationally, or shared passion, regionally, whatever it is. Love dogs, you have a poodle, I have a poodle. My poodle's 10, we should have a play date sometime. Whatever it is, where do you walk your dog? I just found the greatest groomer here, this, share. And that's finding commonality at the open houses. You're in front of people, anytime. Activities when no guests are present, keep yourself busy, for sure. There's a few open house scripts here, scripts, readings, Hi, why don't you do the scripts reading here, Hannah? Use your own name.
I think
probably
it's
44.
It's
Let's
just-
go. Let's go. Andrew, you could be the guest.
Okay.
The custom, okay.
Do I put my name instead of,
What was that?
I didn't.
should I just say my name?
Oh, of course.
Okay. Hi, my name, hey. There's a typo. Okay. It says, hi, my name is, hi, my name is, this is typo, yeah. Okay, so hi, my name is Kaya Sandberg. What's your name?
Andrew Crane.
Hi, Andrew.
There's only one.
Don't worry about the pantomime.
Forget about Bob.
Keep it rolling.
Thank you so much for coming. Why have you come to the open house today?
To look at the house.
Well, that's it.
Don't overthink it.
Okay. So nice. Where, have you seen other places?
You went off script already?
It doesn't. I don't do scripts.
Thank me for coming, maybe.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for coming. Where are you currently living?
About 2 miles away.
Where are you? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess it's.
What brings you to this part of
What
town?
brings you to this part of town?
I'm just looking at other areas.
You're really closing it down.
Well, that's some people.
Work.
Their answers quickly let you know why your guest has taken the time to come to your open house. Now you know how to focus your information about the house and neighborhood or school systems while they're at your open house, right? If for example they are interested in knowing about other homes in the neighborhood, you can say. No, it says it right here. Just read it off the thing. It's a script.
Would you like me to provide you with all the list of the homes on the market in this neighborhood? Oh, yeah. Okay. I can send you a new list every Tuesday by 9 a.m. If you would, then please sign the book with your address, email address, and phone number. This gets them on a terrific campaign. The first choice would be to get them a list and show them other houses. If they aren't ready, then offer the group campaign.
If a couple comes into an open house with children, you might offer.
If you would like stats about the school system, I'll be happy to email them to you.
Contribution principle, give to them first, right? Before you ask for something, give something, right? State the time and day, you'll send it to them. Continue by asking them how they would prefer that you contact them.
Would you like me to drop the information by your house or office?
Email is a fallback position. Offer email if you can't mail it or hand deliver it. Or you might ask them,
Is this a phone number where you would like me to contact you, or would you rather I email? Are you comfortable with my emailing you at this address? Are you comfortable with my calling you at this address?
okay, so it's just, you get the basic gist of it, right? And then it goes on to, the script for touring the home. After touring the home, don't follow people around the house too closely, right? Definitely don't be talking to them from behind, kind of throwing, just let them, if it's a security thing and you need to watch everybody go through the house, by all means, give them some space to go in and experience the property. Again, this is for the buyers, for the real buyers, this is about them projecting themselves into this space and seeing themselves living their daily lives in this property. right? You gotta give them space for, you set the stage, right? You set the stage for them to be able to project themselves in it by clearing out over personalized stuff and clutter and all of that. But you also give them the physical space to experience it, right? And then, qualifying a attendee or as a potential, for potential listing. And then the follow-up, we talked about the follow-up, putting people on 33 touch or 12 direct or 8x8 is really great, but always it's about next step. It's about next step. It's like, what I want to fill all of their needs until they say, I don't need anything else right now, right? Until they're like, we're not probably going to do anything for another 3 months. But if they say we're not going to do anything for another 3 months, when do you call them?
2 months.
I'd say a month and a half, but I'd say put them on a 33 touch program that they're getting an email from you, right? Every couple days, right? And you're calling them like, I'd say
I have
every 2 or 3 weeks.
I have someone who's looking for something in about a year, I
Seller,
would say.
yeah.
So, I would have to,
Well, you have someone who needs something, or looking to do something in a year.
Yeah.
Right? So today, you put them on a 33 touch, you're getting 33 emails, texts, or calls from you in a year, right? And then along the way, in those calls, you're checking in. It's like, how's everything going? You should absolutely, if someone wants to buy in a year, and some of you guys have heard this a million times, but they should be taking their financial temperature today.
Yeah.
They should be finding out where they are today in relationship to where they want to be in a year, right? What's the year? Is the year just time? Is it aspirational? I'm gonna hit the lottery in that year. Is it like I have to save a little bit more for a down payment? It's like, what's the plan? And to know that, you need to know where you are today, right? So that when you get to that year mark and you say, oh, I'm gonna look for a house now, that you're prepared financially to do that, right? Yes, you don't want to move for a year, got it, for whatever reason, but really, what is it that what is it you need to do today to be better equipped to purchase tomorrow or in a year? And then stay in contact and be of value. Is there anything else you need? Is there anything else you need? All right, questions. Open houses are a lot more than just showing up with a sign on Sunday. And they offer a lot more opportunity. You want to run the whole play in an open house. And this is a good, if you're doing this on every open house, you're killing it.
It'll give you a lot of control.
Well, because you control the opportunity. Yeah. Yeah, you have control, at least you have an expectation of how many people are gonna show up, right? But you've done everything you could to drive to it. Then you create the experience, and then you revel in the experience, and you follow up with any opportunities that came from the experience.
Yeah.
Right? All right, any questions?
I think I made a fumble because on my follow-ups, I had a few potential people. And I think my follow-up, the way you just explained that, probably if I had done that, maybe I could have, to find out more information on why, you don't want to, you're not interested in buying right now because a person came to me, one of these guys came to me and was like, saying they wanted to buy some income property.
Sure.
And then I set him up with with Andy, and it failed right there. And I guess because I didn't follow up, I figured, he said, "Oh, I'm gonna need some time," and I just left it right there. When he said,
Sure. So what you need, you can have all the time in blanks, but that doesn't mean you
No, I got him on,
detach.
yeah, no, I have him on a 32. I have him on that, but,
Alright.
but that question that you just said, you know, what is it that you could do today that'll make it possible for you to do that later? When, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that's the,
Never too late.
that was a good information.
You asked the question, right? Anybody else?
No, we finished off right at 3.
What's that one time?
Yeah.
Hoo-hoo! Is it 3 o'clock?
Should be.
3:02.
Well,
Yeah.
we were almost there.